Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hustle with Jesse W. I am Jesse W, and today I am bringing you a quick little recap on this morning's trades. Now, this morning's trades were extremely fast, and there was a lot going on. There was a lot moving today. ALQA, CLRO, TNXP. We had ANNY make a move. It was really kind of hectic this morning, and because of that, it was hard for me to focus on everything. In fact, ALQA kind of faked me out this morning. I was about to jump on in and I was a little too early on it, and it turned around real quickly and volume faded on it. And I mean, I just got shook there this morning on ALQA, and it just went ahead and showed me that there was a lot of scatteredness going on in small caps this morning. And because of that, I immediately recognized that my mindset wasn't 100% there, and I felt a little overwhelmed and scattered. So I began to decrease my share sizes as the stocks made their moves in order to decrease my risk on it because I am very risk adverse. I'm not a very risky trader. I'm very conservative. Um, and I didn't want a repeat of the past. Sometimes we'll get a little too emotional. So what I did was I immediately decreased my risk on all the setups that I was monitoring, and I sat back and waited a little bit. I also did not uh, take the full meat of the moves that I could have. I basically just got in for real quick scalps and got out real quick. Something I don't tend to do a whole lot with small size. If I'm gonna get scalp, I like to have at least 1,000 shares so that if I can capture 10 cents, I can at least make $100. But it all also goes on to the risk, And I saw these stocks make a 20, 30, 40 cent move up and then quickly 20, 30, 40 cent retrace. You got 1,000 shares out there, and you retrace 30, 40 cents, dude. You're talking about three, $400, all right, in the blink of an eye. And while my account isn't a small account, I do not like to put on huge risk at this time. Not until I can show that I am continuously profitable. No one's going to be 100%, but I'd like to not put on extra risk on the majority of my trades until I can prove to myself, that I'm very profitable continuously. But anyways, let's get into it. So this morning we had ALQA, and it's one that I talked about in pre-market on TradeCaster, on my TradeCaster channel, and on StockTwits. I liked it. It was a low float stock, as you can see right here. It's 3.38 million float stock, had news, had a catalyst. It might have not been anything out of this world, but it did have a catalyst this morning, and we went ahead and put it on the watch list. I liked that it was low priced and it had room to run. It really had room to run. Pretty much anything above 270, we had room all the way up to 470, 475, that area, which was a previous high on the daily chart. Let me see if I can bring that in real quick here for you. Here's the daily chart, and we scroll back, we will see those previous tops. Let's just make the chart smaller. See these previous tops right around here. Oh, I don't know why that popped up. And we had those previous tops in there, and I drew my line out, and that's kind of like where I found a little resistance today. As a matter of fact, if I bring down the 5-minute chart, you will see where it did kind of tap that area, and we've kind of pulled back on it. See, there's resistance here and here. This is live going on right now. That's a live chart. Anyways, as I was monitoring ALQA and TNXP, I began to notice that we had already put in a high and we were pulling in, and we saw VWAP was down here. When I saw VWAP there, I immediately threw out my fib level and noticed at the time that VWAP was lining up with that 38.2 fib. I'm going to show you a quick clip in a few of me doing all this live that I did record this morning, and I even get a bid order ready in case I want to jump into this on the bid, and I go ahead and start focusing again on TNXP. Well, the point is that the stock did make that pullback, tap that VWAP 38.2 area, and it pushed off of that. That was around that 370 area, pushed all the way up to 350. Now, you would normally want to hold this, or at least a good portion of this, all the way up to a retest of the high of day. I am very conservative. I didn't get in on this play, but more than likely, had I gotten filled down here in that 370 to 380 range, I would have been flat or taken some profit off here at 350 just because I can see it's a pivot point. The stock's found resistance there. We're pulling up to resistance. Even though that volume is increasing, the conservative in me will take some profit off there. If it cannot break through, I will go ahead and get flat at that point. This causes me to miss out on some moves when it breaks through, like that pivot point goes up to high a day, increase in volume breaks out, goes through 550. Oftentimes I've missed out on those moves because of being conservative. But hey, you never go broke taking profit. That was a real good trade today, a real good setup. We had real light volume on that pull in, and as we pushed off of that support level, we had increase in volume. That's showing you the stock has strength in it, and this was just some profit taking and not major selling pressure that was going on. Okay, uh, let me see here if I can get these screenshots for you. We can see we talked about it in the TradeCaster earlier today. Uh, this was around, I don't know, 15 minutes into market open. I was telling the guys it was really quiet. We're going to have to watch out for something low float that will pop off randomly on high volume, which we did get that. We did get that, and if you notice between 940 to this 950 area, what happened? Bam. Huge volume on something just random. This was just doing basically nothing but going sideways. And I told them as well, ALQA pulling down to that VWAP and 38.2 fib level, which was this area. And then a few minutes later, I let them know that it worked out great. So that was in my TradeCaster chat. The link is below in the whatever, in the comment section there. Then this was my trade earlier today, TNXP. I got in at 405. I was in a little early there. I got in at 405, and I was still kind of late to the party, but early because at least I felt early. When I got in at 405, we immediately saw the volume just kind of like stop. You won't see that recording there because I didn't record that. You will see the volume just stop. And then that kind of freaked me out. And as soon as we popped up to 410, I got out of it because I was afraid we were going to have one of them 20, 30, 40 cent retraces because the floats are so small and the volume had just kind of stopped. It's like if you've ever seen a level 2, it'll move, 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 and all of a sudden it just stops. That's what happened. It just stopped. Like if it was halted, but clearly it wasn't. And that kind of freaked me out, so I got out of there 5 cents. Then I did record this trade. And the reason I recorded this trade is because I was looking at this setup and the TNXP setup. And, well, actually, I recorded it around this time in anticipation of this setup. And TNXP had a nice setup going, and I wanted to record that. 425 to 441. It's not a huge win, obviously, but there was profit made there, obviously. And the reason why I got out of it is because we had a little bit of resistance at 450, and I was unsure if it was going to hold up or if it was going to, allow us to push on through. And at that point, as I had missed out already earlier, I had gotten faked out here, I wasn't trusting myself fully, so I just got flat right there because we do tap that 450 area and we started to pull back in. I got flat and got out of the way, and I took my 16 cents. 16 cents of share I'm sorry, 16 cents of profit per share was pretty damn great, considering it was done in what, 35 seconds. Typically, most of my trades, according to my stats, do last longer, 5-10 minutes. But on these scalps, they're generally quicker, especially with these low floaters, because these low floaters will move in seconds. They'll move 30, 40 cents. And I mean, that's plenty of profit for most people. So that was my trade on TNXP, and I'm going to show you a clip of that right now, as well as go over what I was seeing live there. Let's take a look. Where is that clip? Here we go. So it was around this time. You see, we had already put in a top on ALQA. When we start to pull in, I notice VWAP and the trade line are up in this area here. The trade line is the 9 EMA, 9 exponential moving average. And we start to pull in. So far, TNXP has not done anything. See, TNXP had fooled me earlier here in this area with this light volume. It pushed and it got halted, and then it just it gapped up a tad, and then it just pulled in almost all the way back in, which was kind of crazy. Let's fast forward this clip a little bit. All right, so there it is. I start to notice, and I want to go ahead and draw out my fib level. Start from the lowest point in the chart, which was yesterday's close, and we see that the 38.2 and VWAP, this purple line, are starting to line up. I noticed that it's in the 370 to 380 area. I prepare a limit order, as you see me doing here at 375, and then I go back to placing this on market so that I can so I can focus over here on TNXP. Now the reason why I do that is because if I need to jump into this quickly because I missed out, I can market order in. But I always market order in looking at what's going on the level 2, not just randomly. I come back over here and I notice, let me pause this real quick. I notice that we have TNXP still holding support. We're above VWAP, we're above the trade line, we're holding that area. We had this candle that got bought up even though the volume was really low. I know that this is very low. You can notice it only has 800,000 shares of volume traded on the day, but I minimize my risk. How? Small share size, 500 shares. That's all I traded today. I put a limit order at 425. The bid's at 423. Ask is at 428. I'm watching. I click. There was my order. It got filled instantly. The stock starts to move up. Then I get ready to mark it out. I don't know why it says 109. I did get my full 500 shares. That's kind of weird. But then that's it. I just start, getting ready here. We can see that we're getting up to 440. Watch this candle now. See how the volume is really light? Look at the volume being really, really light. We pull up to 450 area and we start to come back down. That's when I go ahead and just sell out. And then see how it comes back down? All of a sudden it just gets a big increase in volume there and it breaks out through 450. You can see the ask. You can see boom, boom. It would have been a nice profit. We get halted again. This never made a huge run, but it was profitable. It was a profitable trade, and that's what we did today for that extra money. That's exactly what we did today for that extra money, and that's what I learned today as well as being patient and knowing that my trade would have worked out. All right, guys. So until the next video, and I promise you the next video would not be stock related. We're going to talk about some other stuff, and I hope you have a great day.